You know, Alex, I spent 40 minutes yesterday morning looking for my favorite half-inch socket. 40 minutes. I felt like a bloodhound that lost its sense of smell. I was crawling around under the welding table, checking the pockets of aprons I haven't worn since the Bush administration. It was pathetic.
Let me guess. It was exactly where it was supposed to be, and you just have shop goggles on where everything looks like a shadow?
Worse, it was in the pocket of the sweatshirt I was currently wearing. I realized right then that my organization system isn't a system. It's just a series of hopeful deposits. But that's why I was reading Mike Pekovich's new piece on hand tool cabinets this morning. The man treats tool storage like it's a high-end jewelry display.
Is that the one with the dedicated drawer layouts? Because honestly, Tiger, seeing your workbench after a Tuesday afternoon, you need more than a drawer. You need a priest.
Hey now, there is a rhythm to the chaos, but Pekovich is right. If you have to move three things to find the one tool you need, you've already lost the creative spark for that project. It's about visual accessibility. It's the difference between a shop that works with you and a shop that's actively trying to trip you into a pile of sawdust.
Speaking of things that work with you, have you seen this new Milwaukee monster? The M18 Fuel Striker? They're calling it a cordless hammer chisel.
Oh, I've seen it, and my lower back groaned in appreciation just looking at the specs.
It's weird though. It's not a rotary hammer. It doesn't spin. It just hits.
That's the beauty of it. Using a full-sized SDS Max demo hammer to pop up 3 square feet of bathroom tile is like using a sledgehammer to kill a mosquito. You end up destroying the subfloor and your shoulders in the process. This striker is basically a power-assisted hand chisel for the heavy stuff. It's for those jobs where you need the finesse of a surgeon, but the impact of a disgruntled mule.
A disgruntled mule. That should be the marketing slogan. But seriously, $400 for a tool that only does one thing? Is that really worth it for a DIYer, or is this strictly pro-only territory?
Well, if you're doing one backsplash in your lifetime, rent one. But if you're a renovation junkie or a guy working the trades, that cord is a leash. I can't tell you how many times I've almost done a literal backflip because a cord snagged on a ladder rung while I was midway through a demo. Being able to just grab and go, that's not just a luxury, it's a safety feature.
You mentioned the trades. I was looking through the AWS Welding Journal for 2026. Yeah, I read the literature too, Tiger. And they are leaning hard into this certified welding inspector path.
It's the natural evolution of the craft. Look, I love the smell of ozone and the glow of the arc as much as anyone, but Father Time is undefeated. At a certain point, your eyes start to get picky and your knees start making noises like a bag of potato chips. Transitioning to a CWI role is how you keep your brain in the game without having to crawl inside a boiler at 3 in the morning.
And the tech is changing. They're talking about VR simulations for training now. Do you really think you can learn how to lay a bead in a headset? That feels hollow.
It's a bridge, Alex. It's not the destination. Think of it like a flight simulator. You don't want a pilot's first time in the air to be with 300 passengers, and you don't want a kid's first time with a TIG torch to be on a piece of expensive titanium. It lets them fail safely and cheaply before they get under the hood for real. But the gold mine right now, it's the exotic alloys, Inconel, Monel, the weird stuff. If you can weld the metals that shouldn't be weldable, you're basically printing money.
Speaking of printing money, let's talk about the Maker Mogul section of the blog. It's 2026 and everyone's got a side hustle. But there's a line in there that caught my eye. The most successful makers aren't selling products, they're selling expertise. Isn't that just a fancy way of saying those who can't do, teach?
Easy there, Tiger. No, it's about leverage. If I build one dining table, I get paid once. It takes me 60 hours, and half of that is spent sanding until my fingerprints are gone. But if I document the process, create a set of digital plans, and film the tricky joinery bits, I'm selling that 60 hours of effort over and over again while I'm asleep.
So you're saying the physical birdhouse is just a commercial for the PDF?
Exactly. It's the iterative income model. You're building a library, not just an inventory. And it's about legitimacy. I see so many guys trying to sell furniture on Facebook Marketplace with a photo taken in a dark garage with a lawnmower in the background. If you want people to respect your craft, you have to treat your brand like a cathedral, not a yard sale.
I like that. The bridge side hustle was another interesting point. Using your day job as a plumber to fund your custom knife-making habit until the knives pay the mortgage. It's less leap of faith and more building a sturdy staircase.
People get romantic about quitting the rat race. They want to jump off the cliff and hope they grow wings on the way down. I prefer building a parachute first, use the steady paycheck to buy the high-end bandsaw. Use the company insurance while you're still getting your shop set up. There's no shame in having a funder job while your passion catches up.
Let's pivot to the home front. I saw the Gutter Summit, which, by the way, sounds like the most boring party on earth. But the idea of integrated lighting is actually kind of brilliant.
Right? Ashley Garber over at Certified Lights is onto something. We usually think of gutters as these ugly, necessary eyebrows for our houses, but she's turning them into a feature. Instead of sticking those little plastic solar lights in the dirt that get run over by the lawnmower, you've got these architectural LEDs tucked into the trim. It's the ultimate curb appeal flex for 2026.
It makes the house look like a high-end hotel instead of a suburban colonial.
And it's practical. Good luck being a burglar when the entire perimeter of the roof is glowing like a stadium.
You know, we've talked about high-tech chisels and VR welding, but you skipped over the Bill Howes piece on custom gouge handles. You're usually a function over fashion guy. Why did that stick with you?
Because your tools are the only bridge between the idea in your head and the wood on the bench. A factory handle is made for the average hand. Well, I don't have average hands. I've got these bare paws with knuckles that have seen better days. When you turn a handle that actually fits your grip, where the balance point sits right in the hollow of your palm, the tool disappears. You aren't using a gouge anymore. You're just moving your hand and the wood is obeying.
That's surprisingly poetic for a guy who just admitted to losing a socket in his own pocket.
Hey, even a blind squirrel finds a nut occasionally. But that's the takeaway for today, I think. Whether you're upgrading your gutters, learning to weld exotic pipes, or just finally organizing your screwdriver drawer, it's about making your environment work for you instead of against you.
Stop fighting the shop and start working with it.
Exactly. Don't be the guy crawling under the table for the socket. Build the cabinet, buy the light, sharpen the blade.
And maybe check your pockets before you start a 40-minute search.
Okay. Point taken. That's a wrap for today's Daily Digest. To all the makers, tradespeople, and weekend warriors out there, stay hungry, stay humble, and for heaven's sake, keep building.